If you've ever been curious about any of the cocktails from my award-winning bar, Raised by Wolves, but haven't been able to make it out to San Diego, then this episode is just for you, because today we're gonna be going over 3 of the house favorites from our opening menu. Welcome to Cocktail Limelight. I'm your host, Eric Castro, and today is an extra special episode for me. The reason why is because today I'm going to be teaching you how to make 3 of the cocktails off of our opening menu at Raised by Wolves in San Diego. Now looking back, Raised by Wolves has been open for almost 5 years. In many ways that's mind-blowing to me because so much of that time has just flown by. And for those of you who haven't had a chance to check it out, it's a very unique space for many reasons. One of those is that not only is it a full-blown cocktail bar in the back, but up front we have a boutique bottle shop that specializes in hard-to-find spirits, bitters, liqueurs, and also all the items that you would need to stock a world-class and first-rate home bar. Having a boutique bottle shop and a craft cocktail bar in the same space allows us to do things that you could never do at a conventional bar. Whereas if you fall in love with the whiskey that's in your old fashioned, we can actually sell you that bottle, bitters, and in addition, all the tools that you would need to make it at home, which isn't something that would be common at most bars. In many ways, for the most part, I can't think of another craft cocktail bar that allows you to do that. And not only is it a boutique bottle shop / cocktail bar in the same venue, but another thing that makes us a little more unique is that we're also located in a mall. But don't get me wrong, this isn't a normal mall with a Sears and a Charlotte Russe. Nah, boo-boo. This is a high-end outdoor mall with high-end shopping and a koi pond just out front of our door. Now, fortunately for us, the bar's been a hit since the day that we opened. In addition, you know what? We might have actually picked up an accolade or 2, for which we are eternally grateful. And it's because of all the support from all of you out there that I wanted to share with you 3 of our house favorites from when we first opened. But before I get into the actual drinks, one thing I want to share with you was the special conundrum and challenge that we had when opening this place up and rolling out the menu. Due to our location, we had a lot of folks who were stumbling into the bar that had never been to a craft cocktail bar before. Yet because of the bottle shop, we were also getting some of the most hardcore cocktail nerds in town. So the trick was, how do you wow the hardcores while at the same time keeping the cocktails approachable enough for the folks who are encountering their first craft cocktail? Needless to say, that challenge was real, but at the same time, I feel like it made me a better bartender and really made me up my game. And in the end, made me that much better at what I do. But you know what? Enough chit chat, let's make the first cocktail. Now this first drink is called the Trap Queen, and it was our unique twist on a conventional spritz. However, in this drink, we put Aperitivo Cappelletti in the starring role. I've always been a big fan of Cappelletti, as I've always enjoyed the robust vanilla and orange peel that you get with every sip. And it's because of this vanilla, I knew that pairing it with lychee would be a natural fit, as I've always felt that vanilla and lychee have a natural affinity. And the idea of pairing the two was a match made in heaven. Now making a Trap Queen could not be any easier. You don't have to stir, you don't have to shake, it's all built in glass. Now for our first ingredient, we're gonna do a 1/2 ounce of Lychee Liqueur. Next, we're gonna be adding 1.5 ounces of Aperitivo Cappelletti. Next, we're gonna be adding 3 ounces of Prosecco. And lastly, we're gonna be topping it off with just a bit of club soda. Now for the garnish, we're gonna be hitting it with a very generous grapefruit twist. And there you have it, folks, the Trap Queen. Oh my God. That slaps so fucking hard, legit. I almost just want to turn the cameras off, send everyone home, and just sip one of these on my own. But that's not what we're here for, folks. We have 2 more cocktails. The second cocktail that we're gonna be making is called the Painted Lady, and it's essentially a riff on a Pimp's Cup. But I guess to be more accurate, instead of a riff, I would rather say it's a reinvention. Now the idea behind this one was I knew that it was gonna be a lot of folks' first time in there, and they might gravitate to what they know. And oftentimes, that's a vodka drink. But since I knew that they were going to be going for vodka, which is so approachable, I decided to make the drink a bit more complex so it could introduce them to things that they may have never had in a cocktail before. Because what I was really trying to do was stretch the limits of their comfort zone so that I could gain their trust in a way that was approachable. And I think that we accomplished that with this cocktail, which combines aloe with vodka and snap peas in something that is still breezy, yet refreshing, while at the same time complex on the palate. And now, let's dive into one. First, let's start out with a pinch of sea salt, as well as 3/4 ounce lime juice. But before we move further, we're gonna add 5 snap peas into our tin and give it a brief muddle. Now remember, we're not trying to pulverize the snap peas, but rather just give them a gentle massage. Next, we're gonna be adding a 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, followed up with a 1/4 ounce of Chareau aloe liqueur. And to enhance that herbal goodness, next we're gonna add 3/4 ounce Blanc Vermouth. And lastly, before we shake, we're gonna be adding 1.5 ounces of good vodka. And I'm not really speaking necessarily to the quality, but I mean, in this case, rather, it actually is called good vodka. Next, I'm gonna add some ice to my tin and give it a shake. Now it's time to add a splash of club soda. Now instead of doing a conventional strain into my glass, I'm gonna run this through a fine strainer to make sure none of those little particulates and pieces of snap pea get into the final cocktail. Now as for the garnish, we're gonna be dropping a lime wheel on the side. Now there you have it, folks, the Painted Lady. Every bit as elegant and well structured as the building that it takes its name from. Cheers. Now the third and last cocktail that we're gonna be making is a tropical take on the white Negroni. Except this cocktail will be featuring Jamaican rum in place of the traditional gin and a little bit of fruit liqueur to expand on the flavors of the drink. Now while we could just be using one Jamaican rum, and you know what, the drink totally works like that, today we're gonna be using a blend of 2 different Jamaican rums, which means that we're gonna be getting the subtle deliciousness of one rum as well as loads of Jamaican funk from the other. In fact, we enjoyed this combination so much that the combination took on the nickname is Wolf Rum, and we were putting everything from Mai Tais to Navy Grogs. But while we use that rum blend, whatever rum you choose to use is totally up to you, so feel free to riff and tweak on it. But anyway, getting back on track, this drink is called the Dreadlock Holiday. It's super easy to make, so let's make one now. To start out with, we're gonna be doing 1 teaspoon of pineapple liqueur, followed up with 3/4 ounce of Suze. Next, we're gonna be adding 3/4 ounce of Blanc Vermouth, as well as 3/4 ounce funky Jamaican rum. For our second rum, we're gonna be adding Appleton Estate Reserve. Now that we have all of our ingredients in the mixing vessel, now I'm gonna add some ice and stir it up. Now that we're done stirring, it's time to strain that over a large rock in a chill double old fashioned, which means it's time to garnish it with a lemon twist. And there you have it, folks, the Dreadlock Holiday, a tropical and fruity take on the white Negroni. And there you have it, folks, 3 of the house favorites off of our opening menu of Raised by Wolves, which means you can now enjoy these cocktails even if you've never stepped foot in our bar. Now this time around, I decided to focus on one of my own bars, but for a future episode, are there any bars out there that you would like us to showcase? If so, leave in the comments down below, and who knows, maybe your favorite bar will be featured on a future episode. But in the meantime, don't forget to muddle that like and subscribe button. And if you'd like to dive deeper into the world of craft cocktails with me, be sure to check out the Bartender Large podcast, which I host on iTunes, Spotify, and anywhere else that quality podcasts are found. And with that said, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we will see you again next week. So while my most recent bar was called Raised by Wolves, maybe my next project will be called Raised by Chihuahuas. Do you think the world's ready